Good evening. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Nada St. Germain, and another topic that's very near and dear to my heart. Um, I've been with Neolife for over 33 years now, and I started for my own personal health reasons. Some of you know that I was working as a police officer in Toronto, and I was just really tired, and I had some hormonal issues, and just really feeling stressed. And I think the shift work just really did a number on me. I really struggled with that. And because I had fatigue and hormonal imbalance, the shift work just made it worse. And I was exercising. I thought I was eating healthy. But right around that same time, I was in my 20s. My mom was in her 40s, and she was really struggling with a lot of pain through her whole body. And back then, they weren't diagnosing fibromyalgia, but years later, that's what she was diagnosed with. But it was really kind of interesting is my mom was taking supplements. And that's why when a neighbor and a dear friend came to me and said, Nada, do you want to try these vitamins with me from this company? I actually said no. I didn't believe in supplements. I told her I watched my mom for a number of years. And I thought, I didn't believe in. I just didn't believe in supplements. And all she said to me was, Nada, just try it with me. I think this company is different. And something just told me, give it a try. And I had my mom and my aunt and my sisters and just some really close friends to come over and hear a basic presentation. We all started on just some basic products for energy, for stress, for digestion. And my mom, I have to say, in a very short time, just watching her feel better, especially with the pain being lessened, I knew that there was something different. And I got really excited and I just started sharing. So I'm really hoping that, what you hear tonight, you're going to get a better understanding on why nutrition and whole food supplements, good quality supplements, are so important, and why supplementation is important, especially with what's happening to our food, and what we're not getting enough of, even if we try to eat healthy. So it's been an amazing journey over the last 33 years. And Neolife has been around for a long, long time. So I know what you hear tonight. It's just going to make sense. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, this totally makes sense. And it just gave me a clearer picture on just what was missing in my diet. But mental illness, when you look at mental illness, 1 in 5 people are formally diagnosed every year. And when you look at your brain needs good nutrition. It needs fish. It needs essential, like those essential fatty acids. It needs fruits and vegetables. And your brain is made of protein and fat. And we're just not getting enough of this in our diet to feed our brain. And water also is so important. Everything in your body, it removes waste. It cushions your joints, and it makes up 75% of your muscles. So drinking enough water through the day is also really important. And when you look at nutrition and brain function, you can't have a healthy brain with a poor quality diet. The food you eat every day is the foundation of your body for life. And you're more likely to suffer from depression if you're born after 1945 than before 1914 due to increased pollution and deterioration of our diets. But we used to hear this a lot, but not as much. But I get everything from my food, but I eat right. Well, they did a study with over 21,000 people, and not even one got just the 10 specific essential nutrients researchers were looking for in the regular diet. There were 2 independent studies that showed incredible nutrient depletion in our food in about 50 years. So between 1950 and 1999. For example, in a serving of spinach, iron dropped 21%, vitamin A 38%, and vitamin C 60%. And there was a really cool article in Time magazine talking about, the science of nutrition. And there was a study they had done on your mood and food. And it was in 2010. Women who ate diets high in vegetables, fruit, fish, and whole grains were less likely to suffer from depression. But our grains today, unfortunately, are no longer whole. All of our grains are milled and processed. They used to grow the wheat, grind the wheat to make the flour and make the bread. And the breads only had a day shelf life. Well, now how long do our breads last, right? We call it the great grain robbery for mass production, longer shelf life. They mill out all those critical nutrients. All the oils are gone. And this is one of the most essential nutrients that is critical for mental health, for hormonal balance, for cell function. And this is what drew me to the company, because I really thought I was getting everything from my food. I didn't know that these essential nutrients were being stripped and milled out of our grains. And that's why our breads last week's, our pasta last years, and our cereals, pasta lasts forever and cereal lasts years. So when you look at Neolife, we are the world leader in cellular energy with tran and grain concentrate. The grain oils that I talked about that they're milling out of the grain, they are the building blocks for cell membrane structure, brain and nerve function, and also for balancing and regulating your hormones. These grain oils, they surround all your cells to allow nutrients in and waste out. When you look at the cell on the left, you have that membrane that's not permeable, so all the nutrients aren't getting in and all of the waste is going out. So this is kind of like the foundation of our talk tonight, because we want to make sure that your cells are working properly. And when your cells are working properly and absorbing nutrients, everything else we're going to be talking about tonight are going to work better. So better nutrient utilization. But this is what founded the company back in 1958. Okay, this goes back to 66 years ago. So supplementation, as you can see, is important because these grain oils are no longer in our diet. And I'm going to welcome Mary Ellen Vandenbrink, our holistic nutritionist, to share just a little bit about, why we need to supplement and some of the challenges. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nada. And for those of you who don't know me, I was introduced to Neolife over 30 years ago. And at the time, I was a concerned mom. My son had a lot of health issues, and I had tried a lot of these products that you're seeing here, and I wasn't getting any result at all. And one day we had dinner at a coworker of my husband, and I couldn't believe how much better she looked. She had more energy. She wasn't getting sick all the time. And when I asked her what she was doing, that's when I heard about Neolife. And of course, I was a little skeptical because I said, what makes this different from everything else out there? But the more I looked into Neolife, the more I realized there is definitely a difference. Because as you can see here, this study here, hidden dangers lurk in over-the-counter supplements. So they tested 776 products. And they found they contained hidden active ingredients that were unsafe or unstudied. But even on July 27th of this year, Health Canada did a massive recall of probably some of the products you've heard of: Kirkland, Natural Products, um, Natural Factors, Weber Nutritionals. And do you know that they contain metal, like metal ingredients in the product, which is very dangerous for digestive tract and stuff. And that was just recently. And then here you can see consumers report, like how many people do you know buy products on Amazon and eBay, right? They found hidden drugs in nearly 50 of the dietary supplements. So you have to be so, so careful who you purchase your supplements from to make sure that they have integrity. And even a lot of the aloe, like I have so many people say, oh, I can just go to, the grocery store or the drugstore and get aloe. Well, they found that there was no evidence of aloe vera found in at the aloe at Walmart, Target, and CVS. And a lot of companies do, they squish the whole leaf, so you're not even getting the pure aloe. So this is big differences in products. And when I was introduced to Neolife, I was so impressed. The fact they'd been around since 1958, they'd never had a dietary recall. In fact, they're in over 50 countries around the world, and they meet or exceed the health standards of all those countries. They have a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing, which they don't have to have, but it's an extra quality control. And the whole philosophy is based in nature, so they're made from whole foods, but backed by good evidence-based science. So very, very unique. And that's why they work. Can you change the slide, Nana?
I did.
Oh, there. And when you see the difference in Neolife, the reason is because the Scientific Advisory Board, which is founded by Dr. Arthur First, he was one of the top toxicologists in the world. He's the co-founder of oral chemotherapy. But when he was doing his research in cancer, he found nutrients in food to prevent disease. And that's why he joined up with Neolife in the 1970s. And as you can see, Neolife has a unbelievable scientific advisory board of world-renowned scientists and researchers who are involved in the research and development of the products, not just a good-looking doctor who endorses the products. Oh, I think Nana's freezing there. And this was something that really impressed me. And the fact that these scientists, like when we were just in Vegas, we got to sit down and talk to five of the scientists that were there. And this was Nana and I at a convention many years ago with Dr. Arthur First, that we got to actually spend time with them and ask them questions and talk to them. And that is like we get to hear the information right from the source, I say, which is really incredible. Sorry, the slides aren't changing. Oh, there we go. And you want to make sure too that the products are independently tested and published in peer-reviewed journals. And Neolife has been published in multiple journals, as you can see, even the New England Journal of Medicine. And when people ask me what's the difference between natural and whole food, well, natural can be anything from the ground, where whole food is what we're missing in our diet: whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and wild salmon. And especially when we're talking about support for mental health tonight, nutrition and food is the key. And so, what do we talk about when we talk about a diet for mental health? Well, there's often a common symptom of gluten and milk intolerance. Those two products create a lot of food sensitivities. A lot of people are intolerant to gluten, and it creates inflammation. And then when we get inflammation, what does it do? It affects the brain. It's a good idea to get tested for food sensitivities or do an elimination diet. And what we want to do is we want to eat a healthy diet rich in whole grains, fruits, veggies, nuts, legumes, like, everything on the outside of the grocery store, right? Lots of omega-3. We want filtered water, low sugar foods. And we want to avoid caffeine, sugar, pop, fried foods, chips, and anything processed, because that's toxins for the body. And what is good to eat? Well, things like berries, oatmeal, salmon, spinach, navy beans, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. As you can see, whole foods, low sugar foods. We have a great mini meal list that shows you how to combine your protein, carbs, and good fats. So, for example, something like yogurt and almonds, apple and cheese, eggs, chicken, things like that are the good things to eat. And if you can't get these in your diet every single day, or even if you do, our foods are so processed, we want to fill that gap. And that's where supplementation plays a role. And Nada, do you want to share how our Pro Vitality fills those gaps of what we're missing in our diet?
Absolutely. Am I coming through okay right now? Just give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you, Mary Ellen. And when you looked at all those foods and shared those foods that we should be eating, I don't know how many people eat all that and get all the nutrients that they need. Well, this little multivitamin pack called Pro Vitality is just a great solution to fill those gaps that are in our diet. It has 4 different pills in here, and they're all made from food. And we'll be talking about these individual products as we go through tonight. But this is so convenient, and it's just a great way to fill the nutritional gaps, right, that are missing in our diet with this amazing multivitamin pack. So this is what it looks like in this lovely box. So it's a daily packet that provides a power pack dose of potent omega-3s, carotenoid antioxidants, which are those fruits and vegetables, those vital lipids and sterols. Remember those grain oils that we can't get in our diet anymore, vitamins and minerals for cellular energy and lifelong health. So just a great convenient pack. So remember we talked about the TRANN. Well, that's one of the little capsules that's in there, those oils from grain. Scientifically studied performance. It has shown that when TRANN is present in the diet, overall growth and development, nutrient utilization efficiency, and cardiovascular development improved. And it's all to do with your cells. So your cells control everything. Remember, nutrients going in and waste going out. And this is why it plays such a key role with mental health, right? And just giving your body and hormones what they need. And studies show that there's a danger from what we are missing, these lipids and phytosterols. This was in Time magazine back in 1994. A doctor out of the Boston University Medical Center, he made a powerful statement that food manufacturers generally remove these spoilage-prone compounds, essential fatty acids, from pasta, bread, and breakfast cereal in order to lengthen the shelf life of the food. So this is again one of the greatest deficiencies in North America. And he made a powerful statement that it is the most important health problem in America. The other area is your fruits and veggies. I don't know, does anybody here eat 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day? I think that's the key, is every single day. Well, this carotenoid product, this one bottle is like 250 pounds of dark fruits and vegetables. But even just the one that's in the vitamin pack called Pro Vitality, it's after a month, it's like eating 80 pounds of raw fruits and vegetables. And it was clinically proven to boost your immune system over 37% in just 20 days. Almost 90% of North Americans do not meet the vegetable intake recommendations. That's huge, 90%. And there's so many more benefits of carotenoids. I mean, it is a lipid, so it's a fat antioxidant, and it protects your cells. Remember that cell membrane? Immunity, again, protects your eyes. It prevents free radical damage, and it protects against DNA damage. So that means to slow aging, guys. If you want to slow aging, carotenoids are the answer. Then we have our salmon oil. This omega-3 product, it balances your cells. This is the product, remember I told you about my mom and her pain and inflammation? Well, this product has been clinically proven to reduce inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks. It has all 8 of the important omega-3s with guaranteed purity, tested for 200 contaminants with an allowance of 0. But guess what? Clinical depression is associated with 30% increase of inflammation of the brain, according to a study that was published in JAMA Psychiatry. And also Neurosciences News back in 2017, they made a powerful statement that brain inflammation is linked to suicidal thinking and depression. So could you imagine? I mean, I don't know if you know, but there's so many people that are struggling with this feeling of just not wanting to live. And your brain plays such a key role in how you control those feelings. So inflammation in the brain, omega-3, very, very powerful. These essential fats are as important for brain function and emotional well-being, reduces inflammation in the body, including the brain. There was a study in Scotland in several depressed patients, in 70 to 80%, they became normal in mood after supplementing with omega-3. And how many here eat 2 to 3 servings of fish a week? It's a big challenge. Some people don't even eat 1 serving a week. And the challenge is the mercury and lead and toxins in our fish. So this is one of the biggest challenges. So essential fatty acids also help to regulate our hormones. So if you are deficient in omega-3, your whole hormonal system becomes unbalanced. Now, foods that are high in omega-3, so salmon, we know are high, tuna, mackerel, anchovies, and sardines, the best sources of omega-3 because it's already in the high form of your body to absorb, and it just works better. Eating bad fats displace the good fats to become more deficient as a result. So the more bad fat you eat, the more good fat you have to eat. So that's why it's so important to make sure you're getting good quality fats in your diet. And there's so many more benefits. We talked about inflammation in the brain, but also really good for your eyes. Supports health for mom and baby too, especially for postpartum depression prevention. I don't know if you've met some young moms lately, but I've talked to so many young moms where they've been struggling with postpartum, and the omega-3 fish oil really, really helps there. And in the UK, we were featured in an article by the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and they stated that the Neolife salmon oil is safe for pregnant moms. So this is really important because, again, there's a lot of fish oils out there that aren't safe, and I would not recommend to pregnant moms or to young children. And did you know the #1 counterfeit nutritional supplement is fish oil, omega-3? People are creating fake fish oils. So again, our salmon oil, tested for 200 contaminants. 3 capsules is like eating 4 ounces of fresh salmon. So if you have 1 a day after the 7 days, it's like having 2.5 servings a week. So you just have to find another daily serving in there with your meal. So just a great supplement, again, to fill the gap. But one of our bigger challenges, Mary Ellen, is our lovely breakfast. So what are some of the challenges and what should we be doing for breakfast?
I know so many people, like, you think it's healthy. You have cereal, toast, bagels, And of course, a lot of times that one cup of coffee is not quite as big as the one in the picture, but it's sometimes like a more than just, like 6 or 8 ounces of coffee. So what are we missing here? We're missing the protein, and we need protein first thing in the morning. It's just crucial for our good health. And what do our kids eat for breakfast? Well, they watch these lovely commercials and they love that breakfast cereal. It's usually, again, a lots of carbs, pancakes, waffles, or nothing. Again, where is the protein? It's absolutely missing from our diets. And when you look at sugar, how it affects our immune system and our mental health, it plays such a role in destroying us because it's so inflammatory. It creates inflammation. And this is a great article. It was by Nancy Appleton from the book Lick the Sugar Habit. And when you look at what sugar can do, it suppresses your immune system and impairs our defenses against infectious disease. It starts less than 30 minutes after ingestion, but you know how long it lasts in our system? 5 hours, the immune suppressing effect. Causes food allergies, anxiety, depression. And unfortunately, a lot of the medications that you're on, if you do have mental support, it does cause you to crave sugar and eat more sugar. So this is where the Neolife shake plays a role. It's delicious, vanilla, berry, chocolate. It's high quality protein that gives the building blocks for proper growth and development. It has more protein, calcium, and vitamins, of course, than milk. It's biologically complete with all 22 amino acids, 25 essential vitamins and minerals, 18 grams of biologically complete protein plus 5 grams of fiber. And there's no artificial anything in it. Mixes easy with water and has only 140 calories. So it's a complete meal replacement, and it just gets your blood sugar in that zone, that fat burn zone. And it's so important, especially when you are dealing with mood, to regulate the blood sugar. Because what happens when people's blood sugar gets low? It's often called hangry, right? It's like hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. It can cause shaking, moodiness, and it's very common when your hormones are off balance. And so the Neolife shakes are great and easy and help regulate that blood sugar. And amino acids, which are the part of protein, there's all 22 in the shake, are the precursors to neurotransmitters, which is, of course, very important for the brain to function properly. And this shows how the Neolife shake keeps your blood sugar in the zone. Because you can see that red line. If you get up and you have, that cereal or oatmeal or toast first thing in the morning, your blood sugar shoots up and you're on the glycemic roller coaster all day. You want to keep your blood sugar in the blue zone because that's where you it's for weight loss. It's good for diabetics. It prevents fat storage, fat burning, controls mood, and for daily energy. So, so important. And again, no artificial anything. You can see there's a picture of my grandkids. Oops, we lost the PowerPoint. But that's as soon as they could drink a shake out of a sippy cup, they were drinking that shake. So
I'm gonna have to find that. Sorry.
Oops, I lost it.
Am I gone completely?
No, you're here. Just the PowerPoint has to come up again.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Give me 1 second. It's not letting me share. Hang on. Here we go. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's starting to come up. It's just started screen sharing. Yeah, the slides are just turning really slow tonight. I guess there must be maybe it's a storm that's coming or whatever. It's affecting us, but.
Yeah. You know what we'll do? While I'm here, while I'm trying to get this fixed, I'm wondering if maybe Heather can come on early then and share her story because she has an amazing testimonial while I get this. For some reason, it's not letting me share my slides anymore. Heather, can you join us?
Sure. Yes, and I'll just give you a little tip here. It says that your bandwidth is low. You're trying to share your screen, but your bandwidth is low. So nothing you can do about that now. Anyway, Yes, thank you for letting me share. My name is Heather Lacroix, and I've been a promoter with Neolife for 26 years now. Actually, way back, I was a school teacher for 25 years. And back when I was in my mid-50s, I found it very, very stressful. I was feeling overwhelmed, hopeless. I was embarrassed. It was hard to get through my days. I cried before work, at work, after work, you know, and because I thought I should be able to handle the circumstances of my life, you know, raising a family, having a job, teaching all day. And I just felt that I wasn't strong enough. Well, it was evident to the people that I worked with that I wasn't coping well. And some days I couldn't even recognize myself. And as I listened to this presentation, I realized that as I started to get, overstressed, then everything started to fall apart. I was eating processed food. I was eating, a poor diet. And of course, my nutritional deficiencies were just accumulating more and more. So finally, it was just too much. I crumbled under the stress and I was off work on stress leave. I was diagnosed with clinical depression and under the care of a psychiatrist. That scared me, actually. And I was prescribed antidepressants. Well, I had been taking the basic Neolife, the breakfast pack and that Pro Vitality for a few years, and had started learning about the power of nutrition for health, both mental and physical health. So I consulted with a naturopath. I wanted to avoid the pharmaceuticals if I possibly could. Sometimes you can't, but I consulted with a naturopath and she approved all of the Neolife supplements that I showed her and recommended that I increase my B complex, the omega-3 salmon oil plus, so important, the aloe vera, and there was another herbal that we have at Neolife called Herbal Rest and Relax. And so I took the additional supplements, but in addition to that, I spent an entire year with a focus on my self-care, regular counseling, improved nutrition with the Neolife whole food supplements, and rest. I was eventually approved to return to work, and then after another year or two, took early retirement. What I'm really happy to share is that now I've noticed that, I have an improved sense of optimism. It's not a Pollyanna thing. It's like improved optimism and this whole sense of well-being. And I really do experience joy every moment, not every moment, but every day of my life. And, we have to recognize that we can't do it alone. It's so hard to reach out when you're going down that spiral, but, other people will recognize that you're not coping well and you need to allow them to help you. Reach out. We work through it together. And my hope is that by sharing this story of my experience, that other people will find hope and reach out and turn that around and live in joy.
Well, Heather,
Erin.
I know I've seen you. Can you hear me okay now? Mary Ellen, you're sharing your screen. Can you hear me though?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
can
can hear you.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Heather. I mean, I know we have so many people in our life that have been struggling with the same thing. And sometimes people they're too afraid to share what they're going through and their challenges. But I'm finding that there's more and more people that that aren't afraid, and they're coming out and they're speaking, and they're really so excited to share this information. Marilyn, is this the original presentation that I had sent you?
Yeah,
It looks like we're getting back to the slides where you were.
Yeah, I'm just look there.
Yeah.
There's
Awesome.
Nash.
Okay, cool. This is my nephew Nash. And I have to say that when he contacted me to share his story, I was so grateful. So yeah, I'm not sure, will it play, Mary Ellen?
Let me just sound. There we go. Okay, it's just coming up.
Yeah, it has to load.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it takes a second for it to load. Thank you.
Yeah, because I just pulled up the presentation too, so it takes longer.
Yeah, he was, I think, 23 at the time. And yeah, his story was very, very touching. not loading.
No. Oops. Escape.
Oh, there it is. It's coming. Yeah, I know sometimes it takes a second for it to, there we go. It's loading. Thank you. Here we go. I'm here with my nephew Nash, and he just shared something personal with me today, and I just wanted for him to share it from his heart. Nash.
Hi guys. So I've been on Pro Vitality most of my life because of my aunt. She's always had us on the products. Because of personal reasons and COVID and everything, I stopped my auto ship for about 8 months. And about 4 months in, I started feeling like severe anxiety at work and at home. And I've never had any sort of issues with that in my entire life. So it was really weird. I almost had to go on stress leave for several months because of this. And one day I realized that I hadn't been eating properly or taking my Pro Vitality or my protein shakes in the morning anymore. So I asked my mom if she had any on her. I think I was 2 weeks in and all my anxiety was gone.
Like it.
Here we can you fast forward? This is the old presentation, Mary Ellen. I don't think you pulled up the right.
I don't have the new one,
sorry.
sorry.
So in 2009,
Okay, can you fast? Oh, okay.
Yeah, won't even let me stop it now.
although that led to domino effect of
Click escape.
Yeah, I am. It's not working.
Hmm.
There. Oh, there. Now, okay, let me go from down, from slideshow, from current slide. Here we go. Should come back up.
Okay,
There we
so you
go.
don't have the
There's Sean.
presentation. You have the presentation that I sent you today, no?
That's the one that you sent me today.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. And this is Sean. I know Leonie, this is your son, and Sean has a really awesome testimonial. He loves the Super Bee.
There we go.
Awesome.
Hopefully you can hear it okay.
It's loading.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean, and today I'm going to briefly share with you my mental health testimonial before and after the Neolife products. So when I was about 18, I started to have very severe panic attacks. I would have about probably 12 in one day. It got very bad. And I started to take the vitamin B, and it was one of the catalysts to helping my anxiety levels reduce quite a bit, help my social anxiety, help with like kind of racing thoughts and things like that. So I could, I went from not being able to go in a grocery store essentially to being able to function in a regular social setting with groups of people. And in my earlier 20s, I would say, up until maybe about a year or two ago, started having kind of these disassociative episodes, suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideations that did put me in the hospital under what's called a Form 1. And I was actually advised to get off of the B complex amongst other supplements I was taking at the time. And that turned out to be a terrible decision because it snowballed in a negative way my mental health. I put myself back on them, and my mental health it stabilized. It with use of some pharmaceutical kind of medication I'm on right now, but it helped to stabilize things, and not visiting the hospital. I'm not having any suicidal ideations anymore. So I have a lot to thank Neolife for, quite honestly. Now, I would definitely recommend these products to anybody who's suffering with any sort of mental health conditions.
That's awesome. And, I like the fact that Sean shared that, sometimes you need medication and the supplements don't interfere. They just help to fill the gap, right, as to what's missing in the diet. And that's why, when you look at Neolife and the whole food nutrition, it really just helps to fill the gap, right, as to what's missing in our diet. And it really starts with our kids, right? When you look at our kids today, and Mary Ellen showed all the sugar in the cereals, and they're not getting a lot of nutrition for the brain. And I'm so grateful and so blessed that my kids and Mary Ellen, your children and your grandchildren grew up on the products. And we have a liquid vitamin for babies, a chewable Vita Squares that contains those lipids. Both of those vitamins have those essential fatty acids. And then the VitaGuard is like your fruits and veggies for kids. And then the protein shake. Not very many protein shakes are safe for kids. So we're so grateful and so blessed that we have such an amazing product that helps to support our children's health as well. And when you look at stress, how many people do you know are completely stressed out, right? I mean, stress is one of the things that causes, well, it really is a challenge for mental health. And sometimes people just don't know what to do, right? And some of the common symptoms are like your headaches, some infection, blood pressure, a lot of aches and pains, dizziness, diarrhea, irritability, loss of appetite or overeating, frequent illness, lack of concentration, sexual problems, fatigue, and insomnia. So when you look at these, leads us to disease, right? So stress is a huge, huge issue. And when you're under a lot of stress, the body's depleted of B vitamins. Okay. And long-term unresolved stress can cause depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. And consuming sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and smoking also increase stress on your body. And some of the stress management techniques that we have, we really recommend. Exercise for me is a huge, huge factor. I mean, that is my total stress release. I do exercise every day, but then even meditation and relaxation, daily sunshine, taking walks, right? Turn off the ringers off your phone and ignore emails for different, times of the day. So important. Take time out for yourself. Eat a clean diet. Again, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and watch your sugar and salt intake. So those are the things, some of the techniques that you can manage. And when you're looking at anxiety is brief periods of intense fear, discomfort, obsessive thinking, and it can include palpitations, shaking, shortness of breath. You almost feel like you're choking. You hear a lot of people say, "I feel like I'm having a heart attack," chest pain, discomfort, nausea, dizziness, fear of losing control, fear of dying, chills, hot flashes. See, these are all the things that can come along with anxiety. And then there's depression, which is a persistent feeling of sadness, hopeless, worthless, self-loathing, low self-esteem, loss of interest of favorite activities and focus, irritability, isolation, avoiding socializing. Anxiety comes along with that as well. Loss of energy, disturbed sleep patterns, you sleep less or sleep more, kind of all over the place. Change in appetite and body weight, gain or lose reckless behavior, spending money, dangerous adventures, substance abuse, sexual promiscuity, and suicidal thoughts. So these are all the things that come with anxiety and depression. And you heard the B vitamins shared by Sean. This is one of the things that really help to regulate the mind and mood. They're water soluble. They get depleted quickly. So we need a constant supply from the diet and supplements. This is something that's really important to supplement if you're under a lot of stress. And you need to increase it when you're, again, under stress, if you have infections, on medications such as birth control, alcohol, and caffeine. So our B vitamins, Mary Ellen, what's so powerful about our Bs? I know you love our B vitamins.
Yeah, the Neolife B is very, very different because it's a unique whole food source. So it actually begins with nutritional yeast. That is not the yeast that, like Candida yeast. This is a good, healthy yeast. And it's complete. It contains a full complement of water-soluble B vitamins. So it's not just like B12. You see people take that by itself and then it knocks off the blood levels of all the other Bs. It's delivered in a balanced natural ratio to avoid a high intake of one B vitamin, which can cause deficiencies of others. Oh, and there's Heather was nice enough to share her thing and her wonderful story. And here's Megan's story. I'll just take a second to load. And I know this is a friend of yours, right, Nada, Megan?
Actually, she's a friend of Sean King. She's a co-worker of
Oh.
Sean's. And yeah, I've met Megan a few times, and they really impacted her life.
There you go.
Hey everyone, my name is Megan. I apologize I wasn't able to get on this evening to give you a live testimony, but I wanted to come on and share my little story about taking Neolife Whole Food supplements. I started taking these products approximately 2 years ago, and I've noticed nothing but amazing changes in my life. I actually just started in January of this year as a promoter. But I originally started taking Pro Vitality with the goal of supporting my mental health and improving my mental health. With that being said, with the support of my doctor, I was actually able to go off my mental health medication, so like my anxiety and depressive medication. And I've been solely relying on my Pro Vitality. And it's actually been crazy to see the difference that whole food supplements can do for you. So if you are having any concern,
I'm not sure what happened there, but
hey everyone,
I'll
my
move it
name
up.
is Meg.
You can just move it forward. Yeah,
My mental health
there we
and
go.
improving my mental health. With that being said, with the support of my doctor, I was actually able to go off my mental health medication, so like my anxiety and depressive medication. And I've been solely relying on my Pro Vitality. And it's actually been crazy to see the difference that whole food supplements can do for you. So if you are having any concern.
Yep. Oh, well, we'll just go to the next one.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. And Megan
Okay.
actually did introduce, Megan did actually add on the protein shakes, and she's really starting to really enjoy that as well. And along with the Elevate that we're going to be talking about. So by adding a few extra products, she's really noticing a difference. And this is my dear friend, Lori. She has a beautiful testimonial as well. Thank you, Mary Ellen.
I want her to share her personal testimonial on how the product has had a huge impact in dealing with depression.
When I met Nada, I was very seriously depressed. Probably the worst I've ever been in my life. And I was on many medications for anxiety and depression. And I knew that's not the kind of life I wanted to live. So I was introduced to Nada by a friend, and I got started on the products. I was taking vitamin B, the Tran-N, and the protein shakes. And with the assist of my doctor, within about 3 months, I was weaned off all my medications and feeling like I probably never felt before, because I think I suffered from depression probably since I was a very young girl. So it was a whole new way of living for me. And ever since then,
Lori's been doing amazing, and I think we added the fish oil too.
Eventually,
eventually,
yeah.
But I think the Tran-N.
Yeah, the Tran-N and the vitamin B at the time was I think the two key ones, and then the protein, of course.
Yeah, so I watched an amazing transition, and she's become a very strong woman. And again, 20 years later, and just doing incredibly well. So just the power of whole food nutrition, whole food supplements from Neolife being as a foundation and changing her life. So I just wanted to share that story with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. Awesome. And this was 9 years ago. So she's still doing amazing, and so grateful that some of these things. And Marilyn, what are some of the suggestions and lifestyle changes that we can also make that support mental health? Because nutrition is important, food's important, but there's also other things that we can do around us.
Absolutely, because I will say, like, good health is like a pie. All the pieces that you put in all make it more complete. So obviously the whole food supplements are important, proper drinking water, exercise. But some of the things you can really key in for mental health are things like meditation, deep breathing, and yoga, because that relaxes the body. Of course, exercise and stay active. Your diet is so important. And we've talked a lot about diet tonight, but there's so much research out there showing these flavorings, these colors, they actually impact our temperament and our mood. So we want to stay hydrated, eat vegetables, fruit, and lean proteins. You want to supplement with a lot of the key nutrients we talked a lot about tonight. Be very careful with alcohol. It's a sedative, but it can make things worse later, especially if you're having sleeping issues. And avoid smoking for the same as above. The earlier you start smoking, the more chance of anxiety. And of course, it depletes your body of so many nutrients as well. And vitamin D there's so much research now showing it's a great way to lift your mood naturally. And you know that because there's nothing, you'd never feel better than when you sit on a beach and you get some sunshine, right? That's because you're getting the vitamin D. If we could get 20 minutes a day without sunscreen or blockers in a bikini, which is very hard in North America, we probably could get a good amount of vitamin D. But reality is, North America, we are so deficient in vitamin D. And it is a good idea. I always recommend my clients to get their blood levels tested. You can get it tested by a doctor. And the zone is huge. So you want to make sure you're in the middle, not at the end, like at the low end. It's very difficult in winter, so supplementation plays a key role. And it's interesting because research suggests that you're 11 times more likely to be depressed if you're deficient in vitamin D than someone who is not deficient. And I just love the Neolife vitamin D. It's called Vegan D. It's naturally sourced because when people start taking it, their blood levels come up in blood tests. I see it all the time. And the fact is because it's whole food, your body recognizes it. A lot of the vitamins out there, or vitamin Ds out there, are made from lanolin, which is sheep fur. So when they shave the sheep, that wool is where they get the vitamin D source. That is not part of the human food chain. We don't eat sheep wool, right? It's unique plant source combination. This is high potency, safety, been tested. They know it's absorbed in the body, and you will definitely get results. Another thing that's amazing for stress, anxiety, for just calming that digestive system. Because as you know, especially if you're stressed, depression, what happens? Your stomach tightens up, right? Well, by just sipping 2 ounces of our aloe vera, it calms you. It also helps with constipation, digestive issues. It also has chamomile, which is very calming to the body, and ginseng, and it helps with anxiety, stress, and depression. So I have so many people have wonderful results. Also, if you take it before bed, if your mind races, it'll calm you down and help you sleep. And another brain and gut connection is the good bacteria. So Neolife has acidophilus because research is suggesting a significant link between the health of the gut and its bacterial population and mental health. And you think if you're on a lot of medication, what does it do? It destroys the gut. Through processed foods, sugars, meds, antibiotics, preservatives, the bad bacteria will take over. So Neolife has a great Candida cleanse. It's so easy. It's a 30-day cleanse, so you got to commit, but it's just 2 products, garlic and acidophilus. The garlic kills the yeast, and the acidophilus puts the good stuff back in. And of course, our acidophilus plus is targeted delivery. So it gets right down into the gut. It's actually been proven that they have a artificial stomach where they put through all the bacteria, and the Neolife one was the only one that made it. So when you're doing the yeast cleanse, what are some of the things you want to avoid? You want to avoid, of course, the sugars, the yeasty breads, crackers, cookies, baked goods, dairy products, fermented foods such as wine, beer, and vinegar, soy sauce, dried fruits, nuts, canned and processed food. And what you do is you take 10 garlic for 10 nights at dinner time. And at the same time, you take six garlic, right? Isn't it? 6 garlic for 10 nights and 6 acidophilus for 30 days. And you do that. And by the end of it, you've rebalanced your gut. And I tell you, your stomach feels flatter, you feel better, affects your mood. And after the 10 days, there should be a strong smell of garlic and a bowel movement because that shows the yeast has been killed. If not, if you have a really bad case, sometimes it does take a little bit longer. So you might have to up the garlic for a few extra days or sometimes even a week or so until you smell that garlic and the bowel movement. And
we've been garlic. Belinda, our other holistic nutritionist, we've been experimenting. We've had some people that have had better results doing the 10. So I think it depends on the size of the person, well, and
yeah,
how
that's
long
true.
how long they've been battling and how serious the condition. So anywhere from 6 to 10 garlic is kind of like sorry about that. I forgot to tell you. Thank you.
Okay. And a lot of people for ongoing management, they'll take 1 acidophilus a day. Sometimes people take 1 acidophilus and 1 garlic, and that just keeps it in check because the yeast will come back once we go back. So things that help for depression, of course, is the Pro Vitality and adding some extra Trianen or Formula 4. Extra salmon oil, of course, the Neolife shake's important. As we talked a lot about the Super B today, 1 to 2 a day, aloe, CalMag, and that's definitely, we don't have the NeoCal anymore, but the CalMag for sure. And the Mind Enhancement Complex is also good for focus, concentration, clear thinking, and especially for memory issues. It's very, very helpful. So it increases circulation and stimulates the nervous system. And the Neolife difference is it's a multi-herb formula. It's not just one. And herbs work together. That's why they call it synergistic. And it includes ginkgo biloba for mental clarity. It does take a little while to work. So it's not like you just take it and it's immediate. You have to be on it for a couple months till you really start seeing results. But it is guaranteed purity, potency, and consistency. And it's 100% natural source ingredient. So Nada, do you want to share about how those crazy energy drinks are affecting all our kids out there?
Oh my gosh, I know, especially when it comes to mental health. My goodness, energy drinks, there's so many bad things that are happening, and the dangers. I've talked to so many families where their kids are experiencing like heart attack-like symptoms. So, and I've talked to 3 families where they've lost their kids to heart attack. So, if they're having anywhere from 2 to 4 Red Bull a day. So it is kind of frightening. And if you go to the next slide, Mary Ellen, sorry. There we go. There has been a drastic rise in emergency room visits, and also a tenfold increase in hospital-related emergency room visits due to energy drink consumption. And energy drinks and energy shots can be very dangerous for your health. And that was from an emergency physician. So it's kind of scary what's going on. Kids are grabbing these drinks because they think having that like racing heart is good for them, and it's not. And Elevate was launched by Neolife over a year ago now. And how does that play a role with mental health? Well, let me tell you, the nootropics help with brain calming, boosts physical energy, improves mental focus, supports balanced mood while hydrating the body. And it tastes absolutely fantastic. We've been getting some pretty awesome testimonials. And Frances isn't here with us this evening, but after we launched Elevate last year, she shared something with me that I did not know. She said there were some days where she would have this overwhelming feeling where she would just sit on her couch for hours and she didn't know where to start. She didn't know what she should do first, her laundry, the dishes. She would literally just sit there and just kind of stare, and it was scared her, and she didn't realize what was going on. And as soon as she started taking Elevate, all that was gone. And she shared that with me, and she said Elevate is definitely one of her most favorite products, and it just gives her the mental capacity to do the tasks that she really struggled with for many, many years. So it was really neat to hear Frances's story and testimonial, because again, this is a fairly new product in Canada. And that's why when we're looking at mental health, and I know we've talked about a lot of products tonight, but one thing I talked to our scientists when we were in Vegas just a few weeks ago, this core 3, these core products, the Shake, the Pro Vitality, and Elevate, is a fabulous place to start, because you're targeting hormones, energy, protein for your brain, for blood sugar, Elevate for mood, focus, concentration. Guaranteed you're going to feel better. This is why we're starting with this core nutrition. And then I would say give it a few months, and then you can maybe consider adding the B vitamins or the aloe or some of the other things that Mary Ellen talked about tonight. But this core nutrition, these core 3 I would highly recommend as the base start, and see how you feel. Give it a few months, and just, that's the best place to start. That's the best advice I could give, because the testimonies and the story we're getting. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I get a hold of these amazing products? Well, it's free to become a member of the Neolife Club. As soon as you join, you automatically get a 10% discount. That core 3 is a month supply, or even just the vitamin pack is a month supply. If you have it coming on a monthly order, you can double your savings, 20% off, and you can get all your shipping back. And we also have a referral program. If you introduce 3 to the core 3, yours is free every single month. Fabulous system. So again, that's where I would recommend, whether you want to become a member, or there is another option. You know, when I first looked at this 33 years ago, I wasn't looking for an income opportunity or business opportunity. But if you're someone you know really enjoys helping others, when I saw the change in my mom and my aunt and my sisters, I couldn't wait to share. Just like Mary Ellen, when her son's health improved. Marilyn, when your migraines were under control, you were sharing with family and friends. This is the foundation of an incredible business, because when you're impacting people's lives, there's nothing more satisfying and that can really give you that feeling of satisfaction. So if you're just thinking of trying the products, give them a try. Become a member. It's free. If you're kind of curious about the income opportunity, it's $98 to join the business in Canada or $75 in the US. So no great big investment required. And if you just want to learn more, join us on our health talks so you can learn more about how powerful these products are and how they can impact your life. And I do want to apologize for the technical challenges we've had this evening, but you know what? I think we pulled through. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for stepping up. And I think the information still came across very strong. And Heather, thank you so much for coming on live and sharing your beautiful testimonial. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll stop the recording and open it up to any questions that you may have. So thank you.